Dive Corners. My name is Sheila, and I welcome you to our neurodivergent friendly corner of the world. I know it's been a while since we had a live, and just wanted to kind of like get back into my routine, get back into keeping our little community going and alive. As you guys know, being neurodivergent myself, my life goes through a lot of ebbs and flow. So naturally, I was taking some time for myself, trying to like get back to neutral, and obviously, sort of like get back into the swing of things. We had in our most recent videos, we had been exploring the the traps and issues that can arise on highly high IQ individual or gifted and talented individuals, as well as people that have a creative drive or that are not diagnosed but are recognized by professionals as true creatives. And one of the sad things is there is a correlation, um, not necessarily causation. And I'll wait a little bit till some of you are able to join the live before we get a little bit more into the meat of things. But we had been discussing how having a high IQ, being a gifted and talented individual, does not always guarantee success or guarantees that a person is going to be well rounded, grounded, and kind of like normal, if there is such a thing like being normal. So we were exploring a little bit about that, about the myth that somebody that is highly intelligent is better equipped automatically to be successful, to not suffer mental health struggles and things like that. And, as we have been discovering, that is not true. Let me throw it down to the chat. Welcome, Antonia. Um, Pleasure to have you here in this little community. This is a channel dedicated to neurodivergent individuals or people that care for neurodivergent individuals. So on this side of the channel, we usually explore um, things like mental illness, caregiver fatigue, trauma, and things like that. On the other side of the channel, if you visit the shorts, um, you will find a lot of more videos on social justice, um, political satire, social commentary, and things like that. But I am so happy to have all of you that are joining the live. Thank you for the hearts. Keep smashing those. Do all the good things that you guys already know about. Hit the bell, hit the like, hit the subscribe. We're trying to get back into our stride. Darth Clorox. So success is all about networks. Yes, yes. To a great extent, is not what you know, is who you know. A lot of the times. So yeah. Thank you, quality control, Denning Daniel. Thank you, thank you. Oh, thank you to our friends from Turkey. We our hearts are out there with everything that is going on in your side of the world and what this country it's engaging on. But anyway, that's a different video for another day. Um, from my friend from Turkey. If you want to explore a little bit more of that, make sure that you check out my shorts. Hi, Red Divine. Thank you for joining the live. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Just make sure you keep sharing and you keep inviting people over. So let's get into today's theme. So today we're going to talk a little bit about the correlation of high intellect and creativeness with SI and mood disorders. So I wanted to share there's a study in Switzerland that actually follow 1.2 million patients. All of them were classified by professionals as highly creative individuals and highly high intellect individuals, and they found a correlation to mood disorders, clinical depression, especially not so much on the people that are high IQ on its own, because usually that equips you with critical thinking, recognizing patterns, and things like that, right? But mostly in creatives. They notice a very strong correlation and overlap on highly creative people and clinical depression and bipolar disorder, for example. So, again, it's not a causation, but there's a very close and established and studied link. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the correlation between high intellect and being a creative, with sometimes people attempting or being successful in unaliving themselves. Oh, Darth Clarks, thank you so much for sharing. Same here. I've worn many hats throughout my career, but I've been in health and human services in different roles for the last 25 years, I believe. So please share the knowledge, share the community. So back to what we were talking about. So there's two factors that have been identified with the the risk of unaliving yourself in people that are highly intellectual or highly creative. And one of them is existential dread or existential doom, and the other one has to do with isolation. So in the first part, right, the existential dread, what the study highlights is that people that are highly intelligent have this ability to recognize patterns and sort of like not obviously see into the future, but they are usually firing in all cylinders and can sort of like see things evolving a little bit quicker in some instances that somebody that is not neurodivergent in that way. Conversely, people that have average intelligence usually do not suffer existential dread because their brains are not engaged at that level where they are constantly overthinking, playing scenarios, trying to get ready for the next crisis. So that's why highly intellectual people, a lot of the times, wind up being suffering anxiety, suffering panic attacks, and depression, because they can see sometimes the big picture before everybody else does, and that is, both a blessing and a curse. So thank you for the hearts, everybody. Just keep smashing those, keep smashing the likes. That's how we get the community out. Overthinking at nighttime. Oh my God, trust me. My brain does not stop. Period. It's like a radio. that somebody left on. So I can relate. It's one of the reasons I have chronic and acute insomnia. So, but anyway, so like I was saying, so the existential dread, which is something that right now a lot of people are experiencing, can be highlighted for somebody that is highly intelligent. Again, because they can see these patterns, identify these patterns, and identify threats and kind of like play out the scenario way before anybody else does, which is a natural segue into the other blessing and a curse when you are highly intellectual or highly creative, which is isolation. So, a lot of creatives um, throughout the years have been known to engage in self harm, suffer mood disorders. You have people like Van Gogh, for example, that is pretty well documented that he suffered a mood disorder. You had people like Albert Einstein, who a lot of people think was on the spectrum. So being highly intellectual or highly creative can be extremely isolating. A lot of the people, average interactions, human interactions, even between people that care about each other and our friends, a lot of the times those interactions are very superficial, and people are completely comfortable with that. Highly intelligent individuals and highly creative individuals hate small talk for the most part. And if they don't hate it, it's definitely not on their top 10. These are individuals that like to engage in deep conversation. I am not sick, quality control, but thank you, though. Thank you. I will take prayers from anybody at any point. If you're bringing positivity, I'll take it. Um, so yeah, so getting back to the correlation in sometimes unaliving yourself and being a creative or being a highly intelligent individual, a lot of the times it brings them to a point where they don't feel understood, they don't feel like they fit. And again, isolation can build up and build up to the point that it can get somebody to get to a point where they lose purpose and lose sight of how important their life is and their contributions are. And we've seen this again and again. Like I said, we can talk from Van Gogh all the way to the frontman of bands like Linkin Park and Audioslave. So there is a real, again, it is not a causation. We're not saying that everybody that is highly intelligent experiences existential dread or experiences it at the same depth, nor are we saying that somebody that is highly creative or has a high intellect, they de facto are going to suffer depression or are going to have ideations of unaliving or anything like that. But what the study in Switzerland was trying to do was kind of like show a path where people that are highly creative tend to be highly sensitive as well. Same thing with highly intellectual people. Some of them can be very shrewd and a little egotistical, but there is the other side of them that are extremely sensitive and empathetic. And again, in a world that shows empathy in small quantities, you can start to see how this becomes a problem. So, that's all I have for you guys today. I just wanted to kind of like explore a little bit more um, the other side um, of highly intelligent individuals. You know, we always point at being intelligent or being creative as a key to success on its own. And as these study and many other that are similar, it proves that just being intelligent and just being creative doesn't necessarily mean that you are going to be a healthy, well rounded, successful individual. And also, it gives us pause to kind of like pay a little bit attention to these individuals in our community and engage them at the level that they um, need. You know, have conversations that are in depth, help them, let them teach you something, join in something creative in a project, something like that. Because again, especially for any of you that have children that are very intelligent early on, you know, gifted and talented early on, pay close attention to socialization and emotional IQ or EQ, like we call it nowadays. Because in order for them to be successful, they have to have the tools and the balance. The emotional and social factors need to be paired up. We cannot focus just on the intellect. We need to nurture the self esteem because, like I said, a lot of the times being intelligent can be an extremely isolating and painful experience. Um, so that is it for today for you guys. Thank you so much for everybody that engaged, to all my divers. I miss you guys. I'm back and I'm gonna try and expand the channel and venture into other little projects. To everybody that engaged in the chat, again, let me throw a couple of to Antonia, Darth Clorox, Quality Control, Red S Divine. If you're still with me, all of you, thank you so much. Make sure that if you're not subscribed, you do that now. Hit the bell, hit the like, leave a comment, please. Engage with the video. That's what helps the community grow, and it helps me to continue helping neurodivergent patients out there. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.